You're outside with nothing on you. No shirt, no shoes, no blanket. The ground is cold enough to hurt your feet. Thorns catch your legs, insects have access to everything, and when the sun comes up, the same skin that froze all night is going to burn. The obvious explanation is that humans invented clothing because they got cold. That is almost certainly part of the answer. It just doesn't explain all the other things we started putting on our bodies. Before any of that, there was a practical problem. Human skin is not especially well suited to a hard landscape. A hide can hold in heat. Bark, grass, or twisted plant fibers can keep insects and sharp plants away. We don't know what the first covering looked like. People in different places had different materials and probably improvised. And almost everything they used disappeared. That makes the history of clothing awkward. A stone blade can survive for 100,000 years. The hide it cut probably will not. Skin, bark, sinew, and grass decay, so archaeologists work backward from the traces that remain. At Contrebandiers Cave in Morocco, researchers found bone tools from roughly 90 to 120,000 years ago that appear to have been used for working hides and pelts. Cut marks also suggest that certain animals were skinned for fur, not simply butchered for meat. This does not give us the first coat. It shows people deliberately turning skins into something useful. There is a difference between covering yourself and making clothing that fits. Draping a hide takes little technology. Cutting pieces, piercing them, and joining them around a moving body is harder. Hide needles appear much later, around 40,000 years ago. They show that clothing had become more sophisticated, not that clothing had just begun. Humans could wrap, tie, and pin material long before anyone threaded a needle. So there probably was no lone inventor staring at a naked friend and suddenly discovering fashion. Similar solutions could have appeared many times. A temporary covering might be enough in one place. In another, fitted clothing could be the difference between entering a frozen landscape and dying at its edge. But protection is only half of the interesting part. At some point, humans began spending time on things that did not make them warmer at all. Someone ground red ochre into powder. Someone else pierced a shell small enough to sit on a fingertip. The shell was threaded, worn, carried, lost, and found tens of thousands of years later. At Blombos Cave in South Africa, people prepared ochre mixtures around 100,000 years ago. Pierced shells found there are roughly 75,000 years old. Some had been carried many miles. That took effort, and effort is the clue. A red stain does not stop the wind. A shell bead is useless against a thorn. Yet people collected these materials, altered them, and placed them where other people could see them. We cannot translate a prehistoric necklace. We do not know whether one bead meant adulthood, family, grief, attraction, status, or something we no longer have a word for. Anyone who claims to know exactly is filling a gap the evidence cannot fill. What archaeologists can see is repeated choice. Similar materials selected again and again, objects carried over distance, and bodies deliberately made to look different. Appearance had become useful in a new way. Think about meeting a stranger when there are no passports, uniforms, written names, or signs. Before either of you speaks, color and ornament may already offer clues. This person looks familiar. That one does not. This material is common here. That shell came from somewhere far away. The exact message is gone, but the possibility of a message is difficult to ignore. A shelter protects you only while you stay inside it. What you wear travels with you. Clothing turned identity into something portable. And it was not cheap. Hides had to be cleaned and softened, fibers had to be gathered and twisted, pigment had to be found, ground, and mixed. Shells had to be collected without breaking them, pierced, threaded, and sometimes carried across a landscape. Then somebody had to remember how to do all of that and show the next person. A rare ornament does not automatically prove wealth or rank, but it does prove that appearance was worth somebody's time. Now walk over to your own closet. A uniform can announce your job before you introduce yourself. A wedding dress marks a promise. A team jersey tells strangers which side you chose. Black may signal grief. A logo can hint at money, taste, or the group you want to belong to. None of those meanings is fixed, and none is identical to what a shell or streak of ochre meant 75,000 years ago. But the underlying habit is familiar. We keep using the surface of the body to tell social stories. Go back to the person standing outside in the cold. At first, a piece of hide solves an immediate problem. Make it through the night. Later, the way it is cut, colored, tied, or decorated may begin solving another problem: how to be recognized by other people. Clothing did not just protect the human body, it taught other humans how to read it.